Good morning, and welcome to United Women in Faith Sunday 2026 version. This morning, it is indeed my joy and my honor to introduce our guest speaker, Jessica Mays. Now, many of you already know her as she and her family are members of this congregation. And we also remember her as the fearless leader of our youth groups here at First Church and throughout the valley. She was awesome. And now she is sharing her talent and expertise as the development director of the Community Food Bank. Welcome with me, Jessica Mays.
Good morning. Happy to be back here in church. My job has taken me a little bit outside of our church building on Sunday mornings doing things like this, because I also do outreach for our community outreach with my development director role. So happy to see all of you, miss all of you. Thank you for having me and inviting me here. I read the note this morning that said sermon, and I'm going to talk to you about what we do at Community Food Bank. I would not claim it as a sermon, although the Lord is present in all that we do, and as a United Women in Faith, they also, you see God speak through them in the action that we're talking about. So I just want to clarify, I'm not a pastor, I won't be giving you a sermon, but I will absolutely be talking to you about love and action in our community today. So we're going to start with a video because I think that it's going to show you what the Community Food Bank does and who we are and how we do love and action in our community. So we'll go ahead and start with that.
Community. It's right in the name. That is what the Community Food Bank of Grand Junction is all about. We are so much more than a food pantry program. We are a critical social safety net to make sure our Grand Valley neighbors struggling to stay afloat don't fall over the edge. We are a dynamic and collaborative solution driven for and by our community. For nearly 5 decades, we have nourished this place we call home with food and with so much more than what we can track in poundage or people served. The Community Food Bank's story is also the story of where we live. We embody all walks of life coming together with joyful hearts of service to get to work on making our community a better place to live. When you think of a food bank, a lot may come to mind, or nothing at all. If you've utilized a pantry program, it may bring to mind expired canned goods and a box of groceries you're just not sure what to do with, thinking, how do I create a meal out of this to feed my hungry kids? It may bring up feelings of shame and worthlessness, or fear of asking for a helping hand. If you have never had to worry about where your next meal may come from, you may have visions of handouts to homeless folks, or not have any concept of what this work looks like. But if you know the Community Food Bank of Grand Junction, it might be different. You might think about your upcoming pantry appointment with a smile on your face, knowing you will be able to shop for fresh foods to help get through the month. You might be a volunteer who helped CFB log over 11,000 volunteer hours in the past year, filling up to 100 shifts a week to rescue food, sort and stock our shelves, answer appointment calls, conduct intake, or run home delivery routes. Here at the Community Food Bank, we do things differently. It looks like a teenage daughter going through our food pantry with her mom and whispering, "Mom, it's just like the grocery store." Or when we had an elementary class for enrichment programming and a kiddo proudly announcing to his classmates, "My family shops at this store." Our mission is to advance community health and economic stability in Mesa County by boosting nutritious food access and addressing root causes of food insecurity. Since 2020, we have distributed nearly 4 million meals directly to our Grand Valley neighbors in need. We provide bilingual resource navigation and are working towards building innovative programs like the 7th Street Community Cafe with nutrition education and jobs training. The Community Food Bank regularly nourishes over 9% of the total county population on a regular basis. These are not invisible people. They are your neighbors. They are single moms working multiple jobs, seniors on fixed incomes, people out of seasonal work, or folks taking care of sick loved ones at home. Here at CFB, we are an independent nonprofit organization that survives primarily on donations from people like you. We believe no one should go hungry in our community, and that together we can build a brighter future for everyone. We are your Community Food Bank. If you haven't already, please join us at the table. Get involved. We promise it'll change your life.
So we've been here, the Community Food Bank of Grand Junction, for almost 50 years. We're one of the longest standing food pantries in Grand Junction. And it actually started with love in action. Community Food Bank started in the basement of the First Presbyterian Church right here in the Valley, and then has since moved out of there and grown significantly, especially in the last 7 years, with our new executive director, Alicia. You know, we believe that there's more than just handing out an item of food to somebody. We believe in really finding the root causes of food insecurity, building relationship, and helping to really get people out of that place of food insecurity. You know, when I think about Scripture, when I think about Jesus, I think about in Matthew what Amy read this morning, where it says, "For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you gave me clothing. I was sick and you took care of me. I was in prison and you visited me." Those are all steps of action. But not only that, it wasn't just a time in that moment that they did something for that person or for Jesus, as he's reflecting here. It's that they took that moment to not only give them an item that they needed, but they also gave them Christ. That's our goal here. You know, Community Food Bank of Grand Junction, we are not a religious organization by any means, but we do believe and follow the steps of Jesus by doing action-oriented movements, right? And so what I think today when we're talking about love in action, the United Women in Faith are a perfect example of what this means with the Community Food Bank. They come and volunteer their time. They're all ages, you know, and we have opportunity for them to actually do the work and tangibly give love in action, filling boxes, greeting, volunteering. These are things more than just helping a need in a moment. This is building community, and that's what Community Food Bank is really about, is building community, building relationship, just like the church does. So I would encourage you in this moment, think about where you're building community. Where are you living love in action? It doesn't have to be with Community Food Bank of Grand Junction, but it needs to be somewhere beyond our walls right here. And this is the moment and the opportunity that we get to really show who Christ actually is. Words are weak. It says it right in Scripture. It says it right here. It says you must not only speak of good deeds, but actually put faith and action into good deeds. That means that we have to stop just talking about it and start doing something. Doing something can mean prayer over Community Food Bank, over your community, over your church, over those in need. That is an action-oriented step. You can actually volunteer. You can also be in communication with others and helping find their needs met. That's what we do at the Community Food Bank of Grand Junction. We talked about bilingual navigation because we welcome people of all community members. Our largest service that we give is actually children and senior adults. A lot of you may be in this bracket. And that's what's scary, too, about this economy that we're in, and we're being very honest. With inflation going up, fixed incomes usually don't change with that. That's where we step in action, and we help serve and make sure that you guys are well-fed, well-nourished, and have great relationships. The next thing I want to talk to you about is how, for me, because I get to step a little bit outside of my development director role and into my faith role here, I was food insecure as a child. And I grew up in a very, very rough upbringing. And I remember simple love into action when it comes to food. There was a grocery, I lived in Mac, Colorado. How many of you been to Mac? How many of you know what's out there? There is very little, and even 28 years ago, there was even less than there is now. But there was this little grocery store that was out there, and it was like a basic needs kind of grocery store. And she, the owner, her name was Mary, knew about our family's situation. And she would leave out items that she could no longer sell in a box behind the building, and my sister and I would go pick it up weekly. She put love into action, and that's why I have a love for the Community Food Bank of Grand Junction and ministry work like this, because with that love into action, it literally saved our lives. We had bread and potatoes and cheese, and that was good, and we made a lot of meals out of that. That went so far for us. There was 4 kids in the home, and my mom was a full-time working mom, and that literally saved our lives at points, from starving or with going without. So little moments like that actually help significantly. It was also the love and action that churches showed to me at a young age too, that brought me in and taught me about Christ, because there was an invitation. That invitation changed the trajectory of my life, where now I get to go beyond ministry and into the community as a nonprofit, helping and serve thousands of other people. So everybody can do this. And I love that the United Women in Faith wants to speak about this today and wants to show you a tangible way right here in the community, because this is where it begins. This is where the healing happens, and this is where people get inspired to go out and go and do more. The United Women in Faith are a perfect example of that. They are now nationalized, and they do work across the world, and that's incredible. So we're encouraged to follow their suit. The next way I want to show you how the Community Food Bank is love in action and moves forward is our new community cafe. This is something that came along in the last 2 years. If you've been a resident of Mesa County, I'm sure you've known the 7th Street Deli. Anybody? 7th Street Deli? Right on 7th, across from the St. Mary's Hospital. They were, I believe, there was a few other things that they were over the last decade or two or 3 or 4, but they're really known as a 7th Street Deli, and we purchased that building and converted it this last year and opened in July as the 7th Street Community Cafe. Why that's important is because of the work that we're doing there. Beyond being a pantry, we talk about how are we moving our clients out of where they are and into where they're going to be. And this is a new social working enterprise. We do jobs training and skills learning right on site. So it's a really amazing opportunity for young people. We work with CMU Culinary Tech, we work with high school career development, and we work with specialized areas where we can have clients that maybe need access to work that cannot get hired due to whatever reason before, and we give them an opportunity to restart their life, get that work experience they need so that they can go back out into the community and be hands and feet and really develop and work for their family to get out from where they are. Out of that root cause of food insecurity. So this is a very robust opportunity and a really robust program we're trying to work with. Right now, currently, we also have nutritious food teachings from 2 doctors in our valley, Dr. Susan Sayers and Lana, and they're coming in after hours when the restaurant is closed, and they're actually teaching our community members how to work and make and feed their families with nutritious foods, but also in a good budget to where everybody can afford it. So this is a very robust program that we've decided to step out of just giving food and actually making tangible ways that people can bring this into their lives. We're going to watch another short video because they talk about it way better than I do about what this work actually looks like right now.
The mission of the cafe, in my experience, is to promote food security for all of the people in our community, whether they're, already food insecure or at risk of being food insecure, or maybe they're just in need of a nutritious meal and an opportunity to engage with where their food comes from. So it's multifaceted, but I think it all boils down to, I just want people to be able to know where their food is coming from and what it actually is.
Food pantry is not a novel concept. We have thousands of food pantries all across the United States, even here in Mesa County. But the cafe is a new concept that is an innovative social enterprise to bring more nutritious food throughout our community. It runs just like a restaurant, and then any profits will then roll back up to the community food bank.
I grew up food insecure. I'm a child of a single parent. However, growing up in Australia, there was a system in place to take care of people that were food insecure. I have always built my career as a chef on everyone deserves access to good food. And I just saw that people who were food insecure here weren't really given access to the same opportunity that was just given to me growing up in another country. We have a lot of flexibility just in our menu. We have vegan, we have vegetarian, we have meat options. You're going to see a lot of fresh local food from local farms, and that's what allows us to create a more sustainable food system.
The food bank is a crucial safety net for our community. They do a lot more than just hand out food. It is a clearinghouse of information, of other social programs, SNAP benefits, women, infant, and children, as well as job training, job onboarding. The number of people who work at the food bank came through CMU. So we have culinary students that are completing internships there, building their skills from school there at the cafe. They're also gaining awareness of the nonprofit sector and how they can be a part of that and how chefs can give back to the community.
The fact that they're doing sustainable cuisine is really interesting because they have a lot of great options here. I don't know many cafes that make their own ice cream, also offer their own coffee service. We have a pastry chef. We have all of our own pastries, our own granola, our own pancake mix, our own dried fruit. It lets students get into a field while they're still in school and get paid for what they're doing. It being able to bring me here was a real blessing. I really enjoy being here.
We find it's a really important partnership and aligns with CMU's values of bringing dignity to people, empowering people, and giving people the freedom to be able to be determinate in their own lives. No matter your background, your belief system, your politics, we all deserve to eat and to eat well. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be complicated. But it takes the support of everybody. So by supporting and having a nice lunch, you can help feed hungry people in our community.
We're not only relying on folks walking through the door and buying breakfast or lunch, but really looking at a lot of different ways that we can maximize this wonderful asset.
We have our farmers, we have our food pantry, we have our restaurant, then we have our community, and we're tying all of those pieces together.
There was a lot of groundwork leading towards this, and then it was an opportunity that was undeniable.
You all can come visit us. We're right down the road. We're open 7:30 to 2 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. So come and enjoy that amazing restaurant and check out our students, check out our clients that are working there. That is a way to easily give. You're eating out already sometimes. Might as well put it towards a better cause than that goes beyond just the food in the restaurant itself. So thank you for watching that, and I invite you all to come and join us in any aspect that you can.